Congress just passed what's being called the most significant housing legislation in over 30 years. Some politicians are calling it historic. Others are calling it a game changer. But if you're a renter trying to buy your first home, or you're a buyer who's been losing offers for the last 2 years, the question isn't whether Congress passed a bill. The question is simple. Will this actually make housing more affordable? So I spent time digging through the 21st Century Road to Housing Act, and today I want to break down what it does, what it doesn't do, and when you might actually feel the effects. Before we talk about the bill, we have to talk about why housing is expensive. Because if we misdiagnose the problem, we won't understand whether these solutions will work. The reality is housing became unaffordable because we have spent years building fewer homes than we needed. Demand continued growing, population continued growing, household formation continued growing, but supply never kept up. So today we have too many people chasing too few homes. Well, that drives prices up, it drives rents up, it drives competition up. And it forces first-time homebuyers to compete against everyone from downsizers to investors. That's important because anytime someone tells you they have a housing solution, ask yourself one question. Does this create more housing? If the answer is no, then it might help around the edges, but it won't solve affordability by itself. One of my favorite provisions is something most people won't even hear about. It creates a pilot program for small dollar mortgages. Well, that sounds boring, but it matters. A lot of affordable homes exist in smaller communities and older neighborhoods. The problem is lenders often don't like making very small loans because the paperwork is almost identical whether the loan is $90,000 or $500,000. So many buyers end up pushed toward higher priced homes or alternative financing. This pilot program is trying to fix that. In markets like York County, where we still have homes available below national price averages, this could actually help first-time buyers. The bill also includes reforms intended to expand manufactured housing. And before you picture a rusty trailer from the 1970s, that's not what we're talking about. Modern manufactured housing has become dramatically better. It's one of the few housing types that can be built quickly and at a lower cost. If we're serious about affordability, we have to stop pretending every housing solution looks like a 2,500 square foot suburban home. The bill also attempts to streamline permitting and environmental reviews for certain projects. Now, this isn't going to magically eliminate local zoning fights, but every month of delay adds costs. Every extra approval adds costs. And eventually, those costs get passed directly to buyers and renters. So anything that shortens timelines can help reduce the cost of building housing. Now let's talk about the headline provision. The bill restricts institutional investors that control 350 or more single-family homes from continuing to acquire additional homes, except through specific exemptions. At first glance, that sounds incredible. Wall Street stops buying homes, families win. Problem solved. But here's where I think we need to be honest. 350 homes is still a lot of homes. If your concern is institutional ownership, why is the line 350? Why not 100? Why not 50? Why not something substantially lower? And even more importantly, this provision doesn't build a single new house. It might reduce competition in certain markets. It might help some buyers, but it doesn't create inventory. And inventory is ultimately what drives affordability. There's also language allowing certain exceptions involving newly built homes and build-to-rent projects. So if your expectation is that Wall Street is suddenly disappearing from housing, well, that's probably not reality. I think the biggest weakness of the bill is that it doesn't attack the shortage aggressively enough. If America is short millions of housing units, we need millions of housing units. We need more starter homes. We need more townhomes. We need more duplexes. We need more accessory dwelling units. We need more missing middle housing. We need more apartments, and we need local governments willing to approve them. Congress can create incentives. Congress can remove barriers, but local zoning still controls a huge portion of what gets built. So unless local governments start embracing housing growth, affordability is still going to be a challenge. The bill is a step, but it's not a cure. This is the part nobody likes hearing. If you're hoping this bill means cheaper homes next month, that's not happening. Some of the mortgage and regulatory changes may begin showing up within the next year. Some pilot programs may run for several years. New construction takes years. Zoning changes take years. Infrastructure takes years. Housing is one of the slowest moving sectors in the economy. So if this bill succeeds, you're probably measuring results in years, not months. So what's my verdict? I think this is a genuinely good bill. I think it contains several smart ideas. I think some of these changes will help, but I also think politicians on both sides are going to oversell what it can accomplish. Housing became affordable over many years. It's probably going to take many years to fix it. The biggest question isn't whether this bill is passed. The biggest question is whether we actually build enough housing afterwards. Because at the end of the day, affordability doesn't come from speeches. It comes from supply. And that's the part I'll be watching.